Welcome to Title Talk with your host, Drew Wishover, entrepreneur, a published author, and owner of Inspired Title Group, along with his co-host and CEO, Amy Maley. Each week, they offer you some laughs, industry terminology, tips and strategies, along with the occasional real estate professional to help educate you as it pertains to buying, selling, or just plain old homeownership. Thanks for spending time with them. Now, let's jump into today's episode of Title Talk. Right?
Yes.
Woohoo!
It is Thursday.
We have made Thursday.
Uh-oh. I locked you.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Broken forever. Hey, by the way, this is Title Talk, and my name is Drew.
And my name is Amy.
We are your fun team for title
Thank you.
and business and development and all that fun. We are coming to you live from our studios here in Palos Heights, Illinois. We are located at 11757 Southwest Highway. Palos Heights, please feel free to drop us a line, give us a call. A lot of great things going on. A lot of
You're taking
fun.
my plug. That was good.
Yeah?
You did good.
Oh, hey, thanks.
Yeah, way to go.
A lot of fun things to share with you guys today. I am glad to have all of our listeners back. We are back on to some more things as we turn into a new month. We have absolutely some new ideas and
Yes.
Yes,
The
Amy,
first-
go ahead.
The first 2 months went by really fast this year.
I wish they would go by faster. Okay, good deal.
Cricket. Cricket. All right. So we're just going to jump in, huh?
Let's jump in.
We are jumping in. Oh, no. I think I only printed out half my stuff.
Oh no, we're going to
That's
be
okay.
doing fun facts.
We are doing fun facts. Don't worry.
You got those.
It is National Hospitalist Day. Not hospital list. Hospitalist.
One word.
One word.
Hospitalist. What
So-
is a hospitalist?
The hospitalists are physicians, nurse practitioners, physician assistants, and practice administrators.
Ooh.
So this day recognizes the contributions of more than 60,000 hospitalists nationwide. It's the
Ooh.
first Thursday of every single month. Hospitals continue to drive improvement in care as they have for the last 20 years. While their careers may take many different paths to hospital executive teams, academics leader at medical institutions. We thank you, hospitalists.
Thank
It's
you.
also National Anthem Day. National Anthem Day.
Okay. Yep. I think that's correct. National National Anthem Day.
Go ahead.
I will not be.
I was really trying to get Drew to sing the national anthem, but
Then we'd all have to stand, and it takes another 2 minutes. Like,
anyway, so commemorates the day the United States adopted the Star Spangled Banner as its national anthem. Written by Francis Scott Key, it became the national anthem in 1931. Little insight on Francis Scott Key, a Maryland-born attorney with a thriving practice in Washington, D.C. He watched the bombardment of Fort Henry from a ship anchored in Baltimore's harbor.
ooh.
So he was helping negotiate the release of American civilian Dr. William Beans, who had been captured earlier in the battle. And as a condition of the release, the British ordered the Americans not to return to shore during the attack. So after they had gotten Dr. William Beans back, they had to watch this bombardment from the boat. So from that, he kind of came up with the Star Spangled Banner. It's also National Cold Cuts Day. Cold meat scares
Get
me.
yourself a nice salami sandwich for lunch.
Or just like a roll of ham.
Bologna. God,
I used to
love
like fried bologna.
it. I still like it.
I haven't eaten in a long time. My mom used to make it for lunch all the time.
OSCAR BOLOGNA.
See,
See?
today is
Song.
calling for a song.
Yeah.
It's calling for one.
It's still early.
It is National I Want You to Be Happy Day.
Oh.
I'm cutting it there.
Sorry. That was, I was thinking that, but it came to voice.
I will talk about that during my positive vibes.
Yes.
And it's this one I love. National Soup It Forward Day.
Soup it forward?
Soup It Forward.
Didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't either, but it is a great thing. So it kind of came around when everybody, you make soup, and when you make soup, you can't just like make a can. You got to
No.
make like a giant pot of soup,
Yeah.
and
Soup it
give
up.
it to a friend, give it to a family, give
Right.
it to somebody who might enjoy some soup. Final one for you: National Mulled Wine Day.
Ooh.
Are you a fan?
I like wine.
I know you like wine.
Mulled wine?
Yeah.
not as familiar with mulled wine.
Okay.
Share it.
So it's warmed wine
Mm-hmm.
with fruits and spices. I
Yeah.
always think of like downtown going to German Fest.
Mhm.
They always have that really
Right.
good like
Yeah.
mulled wine.
It's very
so-
different flavor.
It is.
Mhm.
It is, and it's always red wine. I usually don't
Yeah.
like red wine, but mulled red wine, I enjoy.
Nice.
So
Very nice.
the end for National What
Wow.
Is Today Day. It was a lot of
Amy's
days
fun
today.
facts were big. Look
They
at
were
that.
huge.
That's good. That's
Read
good.
a
Well,
lot.
mine will be shorter because she covered a lot of really good ones there, and I definitely we actually put some more detail into the behind stories, which was good too. So I
didn't have a
have
guest today, so I
Yeah.
elaborated a little bit.
You tear it up, kid. You go. 1951, Ike Turner. Today, March 3rd, 1951, Ike Turner recorded the song Rocket 88. It was considered to be the first rock song. Obviously, there can be conversations and arguments about this, but it went to the number one. It went to the R&B number one charts, top of the charts, and so 1951 is when they're classifying that the first rock song was maybe discovered, made, or recognized as a
So like
number one hit.
Argentina, that
Yeah, he had
Okay,
a band.
the Ike
He was
of
19
Argentina.
years old in 1951. He had a band, and they recorded called Rocket 88. I don't know the song, even going back to my DJ days.
I was-
I don't know the song, but
well, the 50s. What year was Elvis? He was the later 50s or
yeah,
late,
yeah,
right? Okay,
50s,
so
well,
cool, Ike.
yeah, little Ike. Yeah, he grew up to be a lesser of a man though, so Ike was not really well liked
okay.
about that. So
It's okay. Way to go on your rock,
1999.
Ike.
coming forward, here we go.
1999?
1999.
I was 11.
March 3rd. Monica Lewinsky.
Oh.
Oh yes.
Oh, that lady.
She speaks out about on national TV about her relationship with the president. Ooh, 1999. I mean, really, like
But I
23
still, like-
years ago.
That was Bill Clinton, right?
This was.
So like I was 11, but that name I still
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
And
I
I-
mean, I would hope you would retain something from 11.
Well, I didn't know. To be honest, when I was 11, like
Yeah.
it
Maybe
was
not in
Rugrats and
politics, but-
SpongeBob. It wasn't.
Oh no, no doubt. I mean, Rugrats and SpongeBob.
It wasn't much
Oh,
of the
no doubt.
the news.
No
thing.
doubt, no. So that is, that's because I had the Star Spangled Banner. You took that.
Yeah,
that's
I'm sorry.
Great. No, it's fabulous. It's all
I'm
good.
sorry.
So my fun facts are just those little clips and quips. We are looking to move on to. So this is something that we like to kind of do. We as a show talk about a lot of different things, and we were supposed to have a special guest today who had a conflict with the scheduling and such. So we had to kind of quickly pull together an audible and kind of shift things. I again.
That's what we do, though.
Pardon me?
That's what we gotta
We
do.
do, and,
you know?
and we do this in our business. We do this every day, and I again will give props to both Amy and Brittany for kind of collaborating and throwing
Mm-hmm.
this together to make this thing. It's totally different than what we expected it to be, but it'll still be great.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course it will.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Why don't you give since you're just this ray of sunshine today?
It's the tan. I'm really not. It's just I'm still glowing
yeah, we're
from
welcoming
vacation.
her back still. That tan has got to go away.
The
or-
teeth look really white though.
Man.
No? All right.
Okay, go
Okay,
ahead.
so as I mentioned earlier, today is National I Want You to Be Happy Day.
Mhm.
So I'm going to. I can't.
Yep. That's
So I'm going to tie my positive vibes into what is happiness, and how to help others around you bask in your happiness.
And I'm gonna try to-
push the happiness.
I'm going to try to wallow in this and absorb some of that ray.
All right. So
Please
I can't
educate
even
us.
adult right now.
Please, oh wise one, educate us.
Okay, what is happiness? Starting with the simple, bare bones.
I
What is
can't wait.
happiness? Okay, happiness is an emotional state characterized by feelings of joy, satisfaction, contentment, and fulfillment. While happiness has many different definitions, it is often described as involving positive emotions and life satisfaction. One important thing to remember is that happiness isn't a state of constant euphoria. Instead, happiness is an overall sense of experiencing more positive emotions than negative ones. So it's always important to remember that happy people still have bad days. Happy people still have crud thrown at them. But it's trying to find more of the positivity in life than the negative. We still feel, I say we because I'm really trying to embody this happy thing. So we still feel anger, frustration, boredom, loneliness, and sadness. But even faced with discomfort, there's an underlying sense of optimism that things will get better. They can deal with what is happening, and that they will, at the end of the day, be able to feel happy. So, 2 key components of happiness.
Okay, let's try them on. Here we go.
2.
Okay.
The balance of emotions.
Okay, I haven't broke down cried yet. Okay.
Like I said, everyone experiences both positive and negative feelings and moods. Happiness is generally linked to experiencing more positivity than negativity.
Why did you enunciate more and lean?
Because negative things happen.
Yes, they do. Yes,
And
they do. I've heard that.
I've always heard that negative things come in sets of 3. So whether it be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. I could go on forever.
Yes.
So count the negative things happening in your life, and if it's 2, beware for 1 more to come.
What if it's 5?
Beware of 1 more.
Okay, great.
Just 1 though. Or 4. Or
Right, exactly. At what point does it end? But go ahead.
Okay. So the other one of the key components
Yes.
is life satisfaction.
Right.
This relates to how satisfied you feel with different areas of your life, including your relationships, work, achievements, and other things that you consider important. So, even if work is crappy, you still have a loving, beautiful wife at home. You have a dog that eats wire that hopefully poops it out in some.
Yep.
I love you, Biscuit. I'm wishing you all the health and wealth in the universe.
Indeed.
Okay, so how do you promote happiness?
Let's hear it.
The big question.
Bring it in.
Pursue intrinsic goals.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
right?
a big word.
It is. So achieving goals that you are intrinsically motivated to pursue, particularly ones that are focused on personal growth and community, can help boost happiness.
Okay.
And I think it's super cool that Inspired is now, over the past handful of months, years, we're spending more time with community outreach.
No doubt.
Because that is, I feel good. And it's like every time we contribute to Together We Cope, we have a little snippet to show you guys from there. When I do that stuff, I feel like I'm on a high for the rest of the day. It's a very cool thing.
It is. I agree.
Enjoy the moment. Studies have found that people tend to over-earn. They become so focused on accumulating things that they lose track of actually enjoying what they are doing. So focus on practicing gratitude for the things that you have and enjoy the process as you go. And this is a huge one, reframing negative thoughts. It's negativity speaks very loudly. So you have to find a way to turn your negative thoughts into something positive, whether it be what can I do next time, or what could come from this, or how do I make something positive out of the negative.
Sure.
So that just a little happiness. But because it is I Want You to Be Happy Day.
A takeaway.
How do we celebrate I Want You to Be Happy Day?
Ooh, celebrations.
Make someone's day special. Compliment Compliment them, or just do something special to make them happy. Tell your loved ones how much they mean to you and that you will do anything to ensure that they are happy. Having troubles with a friend or family member, sit down with them and clear things up and tell them that you want them to be happy. And that's it. I'm going to stop it there. I don't want to be talking for 6 hours about positivity, but
That's good. That's very good.
try to be happy.
Yeah,
It's
very
so
good.
much easier said than done, but I think it's
especially with everything that's going on in the world today. I mean,
it's a scary place right now.
Yeah, forget about just what is our day to day and what other people that you think about what we're wrestling with and some of the struggles that we as people have. But then you look at Russia and then you look at Ukraine,
Dude,
and it's you can't even compare them. And our hearts go out to all of that, and it's a really you put it into perspective, and I think that's what Amy's point of the whole positivity is, and being happy is, be thankful for what you have, and everything you have right now you're supposed to have,
And where you're supposed to be right now is where you're supposed to be right now.
Absolutely. I had I have a very good friend who, his mom recently passed away, and we've been really I've been his support staff for this because he doesn't have a lot of friends, and really nice guy, and he's really in a struggle. He is in a real tailspin because his mom was he was super close to her, and he doesn't have a lot of close knit friends. He's been in a very good career for a long period of time, but he feels like he doesn't have any self-worth. He doesn't have any value. He doesn't have any reason to do what he does every day. And I went, you've got two beautiful daughters who are, one's a college graduate, one is going to college. You have a beautiful wife who loves and supports you. You have a career of 22 years in the same business. I said, wow, those are certainly not things to just, push by the side.
Those are huge.
And like, as I'm speaking this story, as I'm sharing this with him this morning, and, spilling this out, it puts things into perspective. And actually part of my thing here is I'd like to just kind of share that exchange with you guys, because it is something that he means a lot as a friend to me. He's a great guy, and I've just come to know him through just some difficult times that he's been going through. He said, one of the hardest things about life is feeling that we need to be better than we are. And I told him, I said, you keep saying that you're not good enough. You have two beautiful daughters. I said all that stuff, right? And these are all certainly worthy of his efforts and stuff. He said, I hear you. I just feel like I'm stuck in a funk. No matter how hard I try, there are always people waiting and pulling for me to fail. I said, definitely find a new circle of friends, right? Then I went into my kind of inspirational place that I just kind of clicked to. I said, the greatest prison people live in is the fear of what other people think. I meet hundreds of people from all walks of life in what we do, okay? Some of them will hate what I'm wearing, some of them will love it. Some of them will think I'm a nitwit, and others will love what I have to say. Some will forget me as soon as they leave, and others will remember me for years. So no matter what I do, some people will never like me. No matter what I do, some people will always like me. Either way, it has nothing to do with me, nor do I care to hear about their judgments. So when we base our decisions and feelings on other people's opinions, we're allowing them to control our lives. We're basically allowing them to be our puppet master, and they pull the strings just right. We either feel good, bad, angry, depressed, guilty. Think about it. You're letting them control you. So being who you are means being honest and truthful, even if it scares you. Almost everyone is on social media nowadays, posting our lives, our pictures, sharing our most intimate stories of loss, happiness, sadness, strengths, wisdoms. So if you're going to do it with dignity and fearlessness. I speak my mind, and I don't worry too much of what other people think of me, nor their opinions on what I should be doing or how I should handle things. As long as I'm not out to intentionally hurt anyone, I share my life, my stories, my beliefs, and who I am with pride. But who you are, be authentic, be truthful, and those who care about you will accept you, while those who don't, won't, and who cares? You'll never, ever find true happiness if you live life to please other people. Live your life with confidence and a little swagger, and you'll find yourself in a much more authentic, confident position than dancing around your truth. And he was absolutely just touched by that, and said, where do you find these things? How do these things come to you? What, and I can't answer that. I don't know. I start getting into my head, and I start writing, and I start to, reply to somebody who's in need. And to Amy's point of what we just did with our giveaway and our give back, like such a great feeling, such a wonderful thing. So I'm going to tell you another quick little story that was representative from my book that I wrote. Inspired me to kind of reach back and find the story. I revisited and had a conversation with our former guest Colin, and just kind of talking to him about some of the things that we've been going through, some of the difficulties that I've been up against. He's a really good person because he's positive. And, I've told my wife, I've told my kids, I've told the team here, if, you have to change your circle sometimes. You got to find yourself, you got to find people who are of the alike. And Colin really kind of we talked about some really deep things, and it inspired me to kind of write this story here. That was, back when doing some coaching in baseball. So it's a Saturday morning. I'm at the fields. I was getting my practice plan together for the team when one of the players arrived carrying a box of Krispy Kreme donuts.
Sign me up.
Right? So, obviously, I opened up the box, I set it on the bench for anyone to enjoy. As the rest of the team arrived, they went into their normal practice. Mode. So no one really made a move on the donuts yet. I called the kids together and I walked around, letting them pick the donut of their choice, all while I was eyeing that one chocolate cream-filled donut. I was eyeing it the whole time. There was only one of them, okay? And it caught my attention. I had already decided that I would eat that one if it was left. So, after my trip through all the players, 9 donuts were taken, 3 were left, and my chocolate survived. But, since I was getting ready to start practice, I didn't want to load up on a donut and have it all over my face and everything. I figured I'll wait till after practice.
How the heck do you get donuts on your face?
Well, you've never seen me eat a donut, right?
I've seen you eat a chocolate Long John.
Yep. So in comes another player, offered him a donut. He politely denied. Whew.
Thank goodness.
Came out, okay, all right.
Dodged another one.
That was a close call. So I begin practice, and every now and then I found myself kind of looking over to the donut box, staring at that donut box, recognizing that it's still there. I could hardly wait to sink my teeth into that chocolate donut that had the chocolate filling in it. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to taste delicious. Practice ends. We were a little bit late, and I had to hurry to get to another appointment. So I ran to my car with equipment in hand, and I realized, oh my God, I made a U-turn. I went back for the donut.
Flip to you for
Right?
the donut.
I figured, what, I'm just going to eat it on the way to the next appointment. This is perfect. So I grab the donut, jump in the car, and I take bite after bite after bite. I find no cream. Okay, cool. It's gonna be all at the end of it. I ate the donut from the wrong side, right? It's gonna be all at the bottom, right? This is gonna be outstanding. But alas, it wasn't there. The cream never made it into this particular donut. Talk about disappointment. I couldn't believe my misfortune. It made me recall a quote that I shared with the players after losing a game. I don't fear that we're going to fail. I fear that you're going to be successful at the wrong thing. That you're successful at some things that are not what you think they are. Many times, we find ourselves pursuing donuts that have no cream, all the while expecting it to be there. And when we get to the end of our creamless journey, we find that we have wasted a lot of time, energy, possibly money, maybe even a relationship, and don't forget your reputation. The world is filled with chocolate-covered goodies. Don't be fooled. Don't waste time. Listen to those who truly love you. Follow their advice. Trust me, the grass is rarely greener on the other side. Always, always do the right thing. Chocolate donut store.
Yep, chocolate
So,
donuts.
it starts around chocolate donuts, but it comes back to just a message, and we pursue things that are what we think they're going to be, but when we get them, they're not. And the time and the energy and all the resources wasted to doing that, wow. So stop and think about that. It's okay to fail, but make sure you're pursuing the things that you want to be pursuing. Make sure you're lined up with where you want to be. And it coincides to Amy's, happiness and positivity. You can align with that, and you can get engaged with people who are feeding and breathing that positivity into you. And the negativity is going to come. We know it. So,
Yep.
Good job, Aim. That
Good
was
job,
very good.
Droops.
Thank you. And now our guest was supposed to be. Well,
I'm
not
going to
supposed
get my notes. I'm going to be back in 12
Okay,
seconds.
we're going to excuse
Time
Amy
me.
for 1 second. So I'll talk and fill this. Don't you worry.
We'll know about your lender talk.
Yeah.
That's
so,
what you're going to do.
So we had invited a lender on who was going to chat with us about that business, that industry, and what that looks like, and kind of talk a little bit more about the connection between the two, whereas the title company and lender, how they work together and what that looks like. as well as discussions about different terms and different things that you guys may hear through the course of, going out to get a loan and refinancing or buying and selling a home. So Amy is now back.
Sorry, guys.
So quickly moves.
Didn't want to put my butt cheeks on the camera.
And we will, kind of go through a little bit in detail of just a couple of the terms, but we're going to do it in a little fun fashion where we're going to play a little game which we like to call Lender's Jeopardy. We're going to play a little Lender's Jeopardy.
How about this song?
Doo-dee-doo. You don't sing that. You kind of,
I don't know what you just did to that either.
I don't know either, but that would be the start of what it is. So we're going to come up with, the answers are going to pop up, and we're going to give what they are, what the actual term is for the answers that pop up. So are you ready, Amy?
I'm ready.
I am ready as well. So name the 3 different types of loans. Would you care to go and get this one?
I'll start it.
Go.
And then so what we're going to do is answer the question.
Yep, buzzed in. Yep, you did. You did.
What is a conventional loan, a FHA loan, and a VA loan?
That's correct.
The end.
That is correct.
All right, so usually I would say conventional is probably the most common, maybe, type?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's hard to say when you talk about common. I mean, we see a lot of FHA.
Right, we see a lot of everything.
It really depends on the areas you work in.
It does.
It really does. But
It does.
Go ahead and carry on just defining it.
So conventional loans are originated and serviced by private banks, credit unions, and other financial institutions, and they are not backed by any government agency. And I think that's what makes it the biggest difference from an FHA or a VA loan. Many conventional mortgages are considered conforming loans,
Right.
meaning that they conform to loan limits set by the Federal Housing Finance Agency. They meet certain standards set in place. They don't meet the guidelines that are known as non-conforming loans, which are what VA and FHA kind of
Right.
tend to lean towards.
So like, just to kind of interrupt into that
Yeah.
And interject some thoughts. A conventional loan, they're looking for a specific dollar amount for you to put down on the house, and that typically is the 80-20 ratio when it comes to residential. Commercial, it's different, but in the residential space, they look for you to put down 20% on the financing of the lend. So
that is the big key that kind of stands out in
Right,
conventional. And
right.
so like if you are able to, put down that 20% on that house,
right.
then more than 95% of the time they're going to push you towards a conventional loan.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Because that allows you the ability it lessens the risk for them because you've got 20% of the skin in the game, and you've reduced the amount of money that they have to give you. So $100,000, you got to put down 20.
Yep.
They're only lending you 80. So
Yes.
that differs on the others.
Yes, and then so FHA is a loan or a mortgage that is backed by the Federal Housing Administration. So that's where the FHA comes in.
Right.
So the big difference with this one is FHA loans are designed for homeowners who wouldn't be able to normally buy a house, keeping in mind that 80-20 split.
Correct.
So it allows you to put down a smaller down payment, and I think it's a little bit lower credit score requirements. I think
Yeah, I
maybe.
mean, there's many different factors with FHA,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of it is the financial strength of the borrower.
Yes.
Is typically the piece they look at.
A little fun fact: can only be used to finance primary residences, not investment or vacation properties.
Absolutely. And it's also backed by the Housing and Urban Development, HUD,
Mhm,
meaning
HUD,
that if you default on that loan, HUD is going to back that loan. So that gives a little bit more support to the bank or the lending institution that is lending that money.
And then the last one I will quickly touch on is VA loans.
Mm-hmm.
So they're similar to FHA. The Department of Veterans Affairs
Yep.
is what VA stands for.
Yep.
They're issued by independent financial institutions, and they're specifically designed to help service members, veterans, and eligible surviving spouses become homeowners. So this is kind of that same idea: smaller down payment.
Mm-hmm.
People who have served usually is
That's all what it is.
Yeah.
And they really, attractive interest rates, the rules and the criteria stipulations for those type loans are they're a lot more lenient for the folks who have served, and I think it's great. I
Yeah.
think it was really
It
a
is.
wonderful opportunity. So if you are somebody who has served, and if you can definitely get yourself a VA loan, and the interest rates are even better than what the interest rates are out in the marketplace, why wouldn't you?
For sure.
The interest rates are still good. They're definitely, have crept up a little bit from what they used to be.
Yeah.
But, in just traditional speaking and thinking, the interest rates are not a point of contention where you sit back and go, oh my gosh, it's almost 4%. It's 4%. It's not.
And I feel like the general, like for the VA and the FHA loans, I feel like when we get contracts in that are for VA or FHA loans, it's usually like a 3.5% down payment.
Yeah.
So you usually pull a mortgage for 96.5% of the purchase price of the property.
Right.
Just as a side note when we're talking about down payments.
And again, now, just to put that into just relative terms, you take that $100,000 mortgage, now you only have to come up with $3,500. That's a big difference between $20,000, right? So you come up with $3,500, they're gonna lend you the balance of that. Now, they're gonna go ahead and do their own inspections, and they're gonna make sure that there's, that the strength of ability to pay is there. And the house is in condition to not need a tremendous amount of repair, et cetera. All that stuff is gonna be taken care of. So there are some really decent protections
Oh,
to
100%.
those.
Yes.
We see these pretty common, especially on the development side when
Yes.
we're rehabbing a lot of the
And like the Maywood, Bellwood.
yeah, the inner city properties and things that we're working on. I mean, these are very, very common loans that we see. So they're all great opportunities.
And I'm sorry, one more. Interest rates, are they usually comparable for conventional versus FHA? Or okay, just a side note of
again,
interest.
credit score. There are so
Right.
many factors that drive that.
For sure.
So but talk to your lender, talk to your banks. It's always good to talk to a couple different people because you'd be amazed going, well, wait a minute, if your interest rate is 3.5%, why is it not 3.5% everywhere? It really depends on if it's the bank making the loan, if it's a mortgage broker making the loan, because they sell the loans and there's a market. There's literally a market out there for the loans and making money.
Exactly, and that's why people say shop around for lenders.
Absolutely.
Don't just kind of,
Yeah.
find one and be done. At least
Absolutely.
look for 3 or 4, I would say, to
Right.
compare interest
Sure.
rates and
And
stuff.
you'll be amazed at how different each one of them are.
Mhm.
And it's just the fees and things that go with it. So, all right, next question.
On to the next.
Oh boy, here we go. What document from a lender states that they are willing to lend you up to a certain loan amount? I'm going to go with that answer is your pre-approval letter.
Is that your final answer? Sorry, wrong
Final
game
answer.
show. Wrong game show.
Final answer, wrong game show, but yes. Okay, I will talk about this. I'm going to try to talk about this in a non-biased way. We see these all the time as sellers of property through the development and the investment companies that I'm a part of. These pre-approval letters are written so that you can show the seller of that property that you are qualified after a quick little look through to buy this home. You can afford to buy this home. A pre-approval letter is not, and I will say it again, a pre-approval letter is not a commitment and guarantee to buying the house.
But it is very amazing at how far the process can get along.
It is
Based on a
upsettingly amazing how far the
pre-approval
process
letter.
can go.
Sorry.
So, no, I mean, Ed, jump in here. The pre-approval process, so when we build a house or when we remodel a home, one of the criteria that we ask our realtors is, have they been pre-approved? And when we get that answer, it's, oh yeah, absolutely. And then the second step to that answer of yes is they typically would call the lender and say, hey, you know what, how strong is this buyer?
Right.
And you kind of get a feel from that, where they're at. How much of a look inside of their financial portfolio have they gone? Because if they've just done a quick look, that's pre-approval letter A. If they've really kind of gathered some information from you and
Pay stubs, W-2s,
yeah, a
all
little
that.
bit deeper, that's pre-approval letter number 2. That one has probably got a lot more strength to it,
Yes.
validity to it.
Yes.
We say this because we've gotten through the process with somebody having a pre-approval letter from a big lending institution to find out that, a handful of days before closing, they're not gonna be able to underwrite that loan because they don't qualify. Well, then what is the pre-approval letter based on? So
It's so crazy that
if you're on
really-
both sides of this, if you're on the selling side and your buyer comes to you with a pre-approval letter, ask questions. Before you just go ahead and solidify that offer and say, yeah, we'll take that loan. Because in today's marketplace, you're starting to see multiple offers,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
So
yes.
have that realtor call on those deals and find out the validity and the strength of that pre-approval letter,
Yeah.
and then make your decision based on that. Because you can get 45 days into the process to find out that they aren't qualified, and now you have to start all over again. And I literally mean start all over again. You gotta relist the house and go through the whole process.
Yes.
It's a waste of time and money. So, as much as these are tossed around, I don't find them to be the once worthy piece that really got you over the bridge to buying that house. It's talked about a lot. It's definitely required and suggested, but don't put all your stock in that.
Yeah, I would
Because
totally
it's
agree.
it's really gonna be contingent on many other criteria that they're gonna have to do before they get this thing all wrapped up.
And if you're a buyer out there, a lot of realtors usually suggest getting this pre-approval letter before you even start looking at houses, because it'll give you a realistic ballpark of how much you can spend.
Yeah, I mean, from that aspect, totally agree.
Yes.
Totally agree.
Yes.
Now, from that.
Sorry, I was talking about, yeah.
And that's a great point, because from that point and that direction, it lets you as the buyer get a generalization
A
of what
realistic
you can
number.
afford.
Yeah,
Right.
a realistic number. If I can only afford a $200,000 house, my heart set on a $350,000
Right.
one before I get a pre-approval letter, like that is something important that you should know. And people, another question is like, how much does this affect my credit score? Getting this pre-approval, it
Yeah.
doesn't.
No, it does not.
You could go to get pre-approval letters from 4 different lenders, and it will not affect your credit score at all. So yeah, just a couple on the other side of that isn't a seller of a house, and
I agree. I think that's a great point. I think that's a great point. All right, next question, Britt, is, oh boy, what are the most common factors lenders look at when considering your loan? Ooh,
we'll volley this.
there are a lot of them, I'm sure.
There is probably 762 of them.
Woof.
To be exact. We're just gonna list out 7 of them. Most
Okay.
common factors.
All right.
Number 1, your credit.
Ding ding. Yep, that seems pretty obvious.
Yeah, I would.
That seems pretty obvious. Yeah.
Income and employment history.
Biggie.
Yeah, they like to see at least a handful of months with the same company
Definitely.
and a handful of years that you've actually been working and not
Definitely.
unemployed.
Mm-hmm.
Your debt to income ratio. This one I don't know much about, so I'm gonna.
So what they do in this instance is literally they will go through and they take all the money that you owe, and they take all of the earnings that you make, and that becomes a ratio to determine what is your debt to income. How much money do you pay out a month versus what do you bring in a month, and that creates a ratio to say, ooh, you're a higher risk, because they don't want that number to exceed like 30%.
They don't want the debt
So-
to income ratio to exceed 30%.
You earn $100,000. You should probably not have $70,000 of debt things that you're paying.
Got it. Yep, that makes
Okay.
sense.
Really quick,
Yeah,
we have a question saying, do pre-approval letters expire?
great question. That is a very great question.
Sorry.
No,
They
thank you.
typically would have a date on them for how long they're
Valid for?
They're valid for. If it doesn't have it, it's specific to the offer on the property that they're making. So if you're not bouncing around house A, B, and C and going, okay, well, I'm going to offer on all of these houses and I'm going to use this pre-approval letter. I mean, it's specific because they typically would address it to
In
the
a-
pertinent home that you're doing.
Right, list that purchase price on there
Right.
and the loan amount on
No,
there.
that is a very, very great
Really
question.
good question, yeah.
Very great question. So back to the debt to income. Again, that is probably one of the bigger factors into this. So that's why they say, you know, when you're in that process of getting yourself kind of qualified, you know, look at what you've got for your income.
Yeah.
You can add that up pretty quickly, and then
For
you say,
sure.
okay, I'm making $2,000 a month, and I'm paying out $500 a month. Okay, all right. Well, that's not terrible. That's not terrible. But if you're making $2,000 and you're paying out $1,800,
Yikes.
now they're going, well, how do you have the strength to pay the mortgage?
Right.
So they look at it in the prospect of how are they going to get paid.
For sure.
So they're really validating the strength of you.
Should we keep going?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Value of your collateral.
Big one.
Size of down payment.
Yep.
Liquid assets and your loan term.
Absolutely.
15 versus 30 are the most common.
Typical. And
Well-
then you got the adjustables.
Correct.
You know, you got your
Correct.
3-year, your 5-year, your 7-year, and those all come with different rates.
Yep.
And you know, there's different reasons and perspectives as to why you would do those things. If you're going to live in your house for 20 years, you probably don't want a 3-year adjustable, because after 3 years the interest rate is going to, could potentially increase.
For sure.
And but there maybe if you're going to sell your house in 3 years, that's what you want to do, and
Yeah.
and kind of pay down a lower interest rate, which means more principal is going to the actual loan. There's some value to that too. So definitely talking to your
Yes.
lenders and have a goal in mind. Have an idea of what your thoughts are. Is this your forever home?
Mhm.
Is this your second home?
Right.
Because again, the values and the process is very different if this is an investment property, because the interest rates aren't as attractive. Some of the programs aren't applicable. You can't have a first time home buyer for an investment property. It's not what they look at doing.
And the craziest thing I think about, like when Joe and I were buying our first house, the difference in interest rate between a 30-year and a 15-year.
Oh, for sure,
Like huge.
for sure. Yeah, you're
Like-
paid off quicker.
Yeah.
It's all.
Like the amount we were paying per month. Like it's just
Yeah.
the numbers were crazy. Like
It is.
how it was nuts.
It's
It was
substantial, but they're looking at risk. That's an evaluation of what they do, and really, if you think about it, that's what we do as a title company.
100%.
We're evaluating risk.
Yep.
What's the risk that something's going to come back and bite them? So those are the big factors. And if you have any change in your job, that could be a real big factor in losing that deal. So.
Yeah, that's huge. That is a massive
So yeah,
one.
those are some of the big things that come to the process. Question number what, 4?
4, I think we're on.
4. Here we go. Question number 4. Oh yeah.
A fee paid to a lender to process a loan application. Is it a loan originate?
It's an origination fee.
Origination.
Yeah,
origination fee.
Yep, it's an origination fee.
All right. Go for it.
So
I'll piggyback on
you guys see these things, and maybe you hear some of these terms that we're talking about, and believe me, we're just touching on a few different
Mhm.
terms through the process of this, because there are so many terms you may hear. And if you have a question, please feel free to ask. If there's a term that you don't know or that relates to a loan, or if there's something you want to know about this, if we're able to answer it, please shoot it out there. We're happy to help. But an origination fee you're going to see, and it's kind of it's a very hidden fee, meaning it's on a closing statement. You typically aren't going to see it unless you're reading the closing statement.
Mhm.
But that is really what the bank is getting paid to handle your loan, and it's a percentage of what they're lending. It could be 1%, it could be 0.5%, it could be 5%. I think it's important that you pay attention to what that is, and I'll tell you, as honest God's truth. If you go to 3 people, there'll be 3 different fees. It's the way it was.
Yeah.
Having been a lender before and being in the mortgage business, I know a little bit more than I need to, and it's what happens is they if we're going to sell the loan, so we're John Q. Public Lender, and we're going to go ahead and sell the loan to Bank of America or Wells Fargo. They offer it to us at a price.
Mhm.
Okay, well, I can get you a 4% interest rate. I can get you a 4.5. I can get you a 4 3/4. It's just whatever that is. I'm buying it from them, and I'm going, okay, so they're going to charge me a 0.5 point to get you a 4% interest rate. All right. Well, I'm going to charge Amy another 0.5 point, and I'm going to make it a 1% origination fee so that I get paid, and I know I'm going to have to pay Bank of America.
Yep.
You also have the ability to, maybe you want a 3.5%. if you're willing to pay more, you can pay it down and do that.
Right.
So there's a lot of different options.
There is a very
So this origination fee that we speak about is a key component to, that's really what you're paying. And I felt that was important to bring up in this because, you know, as the consumer, and it's always about the consumer, you know, you wonder what credit scores do we need or what factors does it take to get approved? Well, what are we paying for this loan? It's just all wrapped up in the deal. I'm not worried about it. Worry about it. Worry about it. At least look at it. So you get 3 or 4 different rates, and you know you want to see that closing statement and see what it looks like. And you're going, wow, they're charging me 3% for this. I'm borrowing $600,000 at 3%. I'm paying $1,800 for this deal. That's a lot of money.
It is, yeah.
You know, it's a lot of money. And you think about it, you know, maybe it's less with somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just contingent on what they're buying that loan for or
Shop
selling
for
it
lenders.
for.
Look at
So
different
shop for
lenders.
it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, let's round it up with the last one.
Last and final question. Ooh.
A mortgage Can you read that?
Yeah.
Me too. I can.
I can, go ahead.
A mortgage underwriter has approved your loan and all conditions for approval have been met. What is that?
That's the words that we all love to hear.
C to C.
C2C. Clear to close.
That is your buzzer going off. That
Yep.
is the angel humming from the clouds.
Right.
That is the sound that you like to hear.
That's the golden ticket right
Yes.
there. The golden goose has arrived.
Yes.
You are clear to close. You're able to now buy or sell that property, and all the financing has been approved, and you can move to your friendly title company and you know execute that closing process and end the transaction. So that clear to close is the most important piece that we all wait for in the industry. When we hear from the lender that, hey, this deal's clear to close, that's when the attorneys and everybody gets engaged to start to schedule that process and get you to the closing table to sign the documents and finalize the whole thing.
Absolutely.
So I hope those were helpful for you guys to kind of listen to, and like I said, if there's any questions, feel free to shout. We're definitely here. We're trying to just kind of touch a little bit on some of the lenders, and you know, being that this is our lending month, we're going to have some more talks this month about. We'll definitely have lenders coming in, and we'll revisit some of these conversations with these guests as well.
Absolutely.
But wanted to give you kind of an intro to what
a
we're about to
background.
what's about to happen
We're
here.
gonna dive into.
What else we got today?
What else do we
fun
got
are we gonna
today?
do? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The March Weight Loss Challenge. I don't mean to say it like that.
It's on.
The March Weight Loss Challenge is on.
It's on.
Do you want to talk about it since it was
Go ahead.
your idea?
Go ahead.
Okay, so we are doing as a team a 60-day weight loss challenge to see what we can get done as a team, get our summer bods in check. So after some talk and deliberation, we have decided that we are going to base our weight loss on percentage body weight loss ratio.
That's right.
So far, I think we have around 10 people that
Awesome.
are signed up for this.
That is awesome.
So what we are going to do is for the next week, we are going to be taking anybody that wants to be involved in this weight loss challenge and putting them on a list with us. So all you have to do to be a part of this is send us an email, give us a call, send us a message on Facebook, and say, I'm interested in participating in the weight loss challenge, and send us a picture of a scale
Right.
with your weight on there.
Yeah, with you on it.
With you on it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to see the whole thing. We just need to see the number.
Just
with
show us the number.
Yep.
Cut out your toes from it if possible.
Yeah,
Put on
whatever-
socks
whatever
when
you
you
wanna do. Yeah. We're not shy. We're not, you know, and when there's again, there's no judging. This is
No.
just all for a purpose of just, you know, accountability and just, you know, community.
Yeah.
Let's just do something together, and let's do something positive, which is something that everybody really struggles with. So I think what better to have inspirational people as we are to be support staff, and I love your ideas. Why don't you talk about maybe
Yeah.
some of those ideas too? I think those are great.
I kind of thought it'd be cool to do like weekend gatherings of like either going to the Swallow Cliff Stairs for anybody that is involved in this, or even if you're not involved with it.
Right.
Swallow Cliff, Lake Catherine, beautiful weather's
Take a
coming.
walk,
Like,
yeah,
what's a better time to get out and start enjoying nature than right now?
Absolutely.
So
I'm in.
I'm in too. Just don't come around the office because none of us are eating and we're grumpy. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But for real, I get hangry. So I apologize in advance if I snap anyone with my weight loss
We
challenge
will start
that's
posting
happening.
those next week, and we'll kick this thing off, and
Yeah.
maybe we'll be in shorts and our workout gear. Woohoo!
80s workout maybe?
Yeah,
An iron?
there you go. Maybe we can have a whole segment on just working out.
Zumba class?
Zumba class.
Sign me up for a
All
Zumba
right,
class.
we're good. There we go.
So yes,
Good
that is what one of our big March things is.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we thank
Can't
you
wait.
guys. We hope you jump in, reach out to Britt, and let her know you want to be part of the fun, and we will get you on that list and motivate you and continue to get this thing moving.
It's always
So-
good to have accountability.
Absolutely, absolutely. And our March giveaway, our February giveaway winner, sorry, I'm into March already. Our February giveaway winner, what a wonderful lady. She came out, she was all shy, she was all.
Well, yeah, because you were rude.
That's not even possible.
He made a very nice comment of thank you so much for tuning in that one day.
I did. I did.
But Dee, thank you. We do appreciate you watching and being a part of this show. And thank you for.
Congrats for winning.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you know what? It's so great to give back. We don't care about how many times you listened or watched. We just like to know that people are out there and paying attention and listening, and we're thankful for all of that. So,
Yeah,
Dee,
please.
thanks and enjoy, and
Yeah.
don't be a stranger around the neighborhood.
And please remember that if you are watching this video right now, that does not constitute as getting entered in March's giveaway.
No.
In order to be entered in the giveaway, you must like or post or share or comment. And then once we see your name pop up that you have done any of those things, then we will enter you in our
Little raffle.
Little raffle.
bucket.
yes, and then we will pull the drawing for March.
You never know. We may turn this up a little bit and make this. You have to ask a question. So while it's easy, let's get in because it's not going to stay easy. This is not what I do.
Man.
I move this stuff along. So
Oh, gosh.
we make in order
Make
to get
my ears
enrolled, you
itch.
might have to ask questions. We'll see how this goes. So while it's easy, join now. All right, get your name out there. Please help us out and definitely share this thing. That's what keeps us doing what we do, and we love doing this for you guys. And we're hoping it's helpful. And we're hoping that you're gaining some value from it. Otherwise, we're just spending an hour every Thursday just talking about nothing. Let's talk about our March giveaway. I can give back. The weight loss was just a secondary piece. We are going to be doing a blood drive at the end
Can't
of the month.
wait. It's gonna be great.
This is month 3, and this is month 3, and this is number 3 of our successful giveaways and give backs each month. The goal is to do 12. My guess is we'll probably do 15. I am excited about this. We are all registered. We are all set to get stuck. And
We are all really excited.
we continue to hear the need and how much of a need there is out there. So doing this is this is easy. This is something that anybody can do. It doesn't take a lot of your time, and the difference that it makes is far greater than the time that it took to do it. So consider that. We're going to be doing it at the end of the March. If you guys want to jump on board and let us know if you want to be part of that as well, definitely contact Brittany. Maybe there's still some slots available to come on out and be part of the team as we do it together. We'd love to have you. If there's anybody that wants to share their story about doing it,
Yep.
and we'd love to celebrate you doing it too. So
Yeah, we did our Together We Cope food drop off
oh great.
last weekend. Those are a couple. Oh, I actually pointed the right way.
Yeah.
Those are a couple pictures from our cool little field trip that we got to take.
It's really
It was very cool. Brittany's goal that she set, she crushed it. She killed. It was
yeah.
way above what she.
What'd you say, Britt? 2 bins was your hope?
Mm-hmm.
What did we deliver? 7?
6
Six.
full ones.
6.
Yeah.
6 full bins and some, side bags and things. I mean, absolutely incredible.
It was
Absolutely
amazing.
incredible. And I mean the folks over there were so delighted to have it and just welcoming of that. And we were able to get some pictures with the team and the folks from out there. It's a great organization. We also saw that there were some people actually
Like picking
receiving
up, yeah.
receiving some
Yeah.
of the donations, which was really nice to to
It
kind
was
of
super cool to be able to see. Just
put it all into perspective on
Yeah.
where it goes and how it's bettering. So really appreciate the team's efforts and the community that really stepped up to help us with that. So thank you guys for that and your continued support in us as Inspired and what we do. So
Yeah.
take them out of here.
My quote?
You got a quote?
Do you got a quote?
I don't, but I can definitely find a quote.
I can skip my quote.
Why don't we just take them out of here then? Go ahead, give you a quote. You want to? Yeah, I have to have a quote.
I actually looked it up on my phone.
Do yours. It's fine.
All right.
Do yours.
The most important thing is to enjoy your life, to be happy. It's all that matters.
Amen.
Audrey Hepburn, beautiful lady.
As we wind this thing up and send you guys on to the weekend, just please pray for those people in Ukraine and Russia as that just doesn't get any better. And reach out to somebody today, touch them, make them feel happy, as Amy suggested, and remember to don't fear failing. It's okay to fail. Just get back up and pursue what it is that you want to pursue. Do what you want to do. Inspired Title, in Inspired Development, Inspired Business. We're here for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to stand behind you and work with you, partner up with you. If there's anything that we can do to help, or if there's any questions that you guys have about the processes through the real estate market, reach out. We'll be more than happy to chat with you. And if we don't have the answers, we definitely have a team that can find it for you. So we thank you guys for tuning in another week and joining us. My name is Drew.
My name is Amy.
We are the Inspired Business Group. We thank you guys. We'll see you guys all next week. Get ready for that weight loss challenge. Get ready to lose some LBs. Take care, everybody.
Well, there you have it. That is it for this week's edition of Title Talk. Be sure to head over to our Inspired YouTube page and subscribe and like. And make sure you follow the team on Instagram and Facebook. Join us again next time for more tips and knowledge from the industry pros. Thanks again for listening.